Useless agent, a safe space from cognitive dissonance and childish ideology, the shackles of corporate media, and a place where all are fair game in the eyes of the wicked. Enjoy.
Stay cheesy. Useless agent is on your Facebook, laptop, or your TV, whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Twitter, Twitch, anything, or your HP, wherever you want it.
I'm actually stating whether this experiment of human beings works. I really don't care. I love people as I move them on. People are just because we see the whole universe in their eyes. I don't care. But it seems like in the group, humans take the sacrifice of human beings for the sake of the group.
You want to hear the arguments around my house? They're annoying, they're idiots, they're evil, they're fucks!
Alrighty. Alright, it's another day of useless and skinny, so let's get skinny out. Alrighty, and alright. And skinny is in the building.
What up? What up?
How's it going, man?
It's going. Another week.
Mm-hmm.
$1.
Yep. Alright, so today we're going with a new idea. And so the idea is that we're going to be, taking turns doing topics, and we're just going to address them one by one. And then we feel we're done with it, we move on to the next one. Am I right?
Sounds good to me. Actually, I wasn't prepared for this, man. We had talked about it, but I don't think we had solidified it.
I was so involved in laughing at the what's it called, the douchebag question. What was the douchebag topic? It was like American Express holders, rich or douchebag or something.
Yes, I have all of the topics that I wanted to bring up, so let's do it, man.
All right, so you know what? Let's start off with. You know what? Yeah, let's start off with the typical topic is, of course, the MAGA bullshit. My thing is, what I find hilarious is I managed to do some minor research, very, very minor research. And I mean, I came up with probably an hour of conversation over the good things that Trump was capable of accomplishing in his in his 4-year tenure. And what amazes me is not one of these things has been mentioned by their own team. Like,
Okay.
it seems like they're oblivious to their own successes instead of relying on their failures of the past.
Okay, give me a success.
For instance, all right, let's just pull over one right off the bat. All right, he started with he signed the tax cut, which gave the Jobs Act, which helped the largest job reform, allowing over 6 million Americans to receive wage increases for basic jobs that they'd been paid the same for almost 10 years. And when Trump came into office, he signed a special Jobs Act bill that would help seniority gain more money. This helped over 6 million people. So you have 6 million reasons to talk about it. Just a minor little success like that, you think you would run somewhere with it.
Well, I think that they've brought that up in the past, but the argument against it is that it benefited the rich and it didn't really help the poor. I think that's the argument. And I'm going to be completely honest. don't know shit about like tax reform.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was a part of it, but it definitely wasn't all of it. Oh, okay, fine. He doubled the child tax credit. He doubled the child tax credit. So people like, myself, parents, actually did get a better check than we did when Obama was president. I remember some of the checks that we got when Obama was president were so fucking shitty that it was almost like it was almost like we're barely gonna get enough money for diapers, and that's really how it was. Like, so much of it went to H&R Block.
So you can personally attest to receiving more money under the
child
Trump
tax credit. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that.
Okay, I have I don't have any kids other than I own some plants. I didn't get more money for that, but okay, that's a good thing. What else? Well, yeah, I'm just curious. Like all of these things that you're mentioning, I'm sure you have a long list of things because you're anti-Trump, like to the core, right?
Pretty much as far as you can get. I think he belongs underneath the jail cell, far beyond just a slap on the wrist or even a handcuff on the wrist. I think we passed that point a long time ago. Once you started selling off America's secrets, you have now crossed the line of certain penalties that I normally would never ever condone, but this is set in stone a long time ago, and we agreed to this shit because we thought it would never happen.
So the dude does something good for you. I'm understanding this right. He gets you more money as a parent, but you think he needs to be like in jail.
No. I'm saying that my point was that if you have, if I can look up 15, 20 different things that you did well, you'd think you'd mention one. He spends the entirety of his campaigning about himself and about his losses. Rather, he tries turning these negatives into positives rather than relying on the actual positivity that you did. And I just find that so pathetic that you can't even find the good in yourself. Like that is how much I loathe this person. That even a person that hates your fucking guts can find a few good things about you, and you won't even use it. Instead, you're going to try to rely on revisionist history on the point that, dude, you already crossed the line of treason. And when you want to talk about, the punishments they expected for Mark Milley, no, that goes to Trump. That exact punishment, which I really don't want to say, but when you have these congressmen running for Congress yelling out, you need to hang, by your neck until you are dead. And it's like, dude, that's your boy. That's your boy that was selling our secrets, dude. So it's just, no, there's no fucking way that I would ever say that, like, he, did anything that deserves anything but a bullet in the head. But I'm just saying that if you just relied on any of your positivity, you can get away from this need for revisionist history.
I think that there may be some political strategy to this because nothing brings a crowd together like a common enemy. Nothing rattles the base like the hatred or accusing the other side of doing wrong to you.
True.
I think that the Trump campaign knows this. His campaign managers know this. That if he goes out there and puts out a positive message and says, "Hey, remember all the good things I did," that it's not going to move people in the same way that it will when he
I,
says,
I agree with that. I agree with that, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it help once or twice when you run out of air, when you run out of speech, when you run out of shit to talk about?
Just to say one positive thing.
Instead of talking about killing fucking orcas with fucking windmills, you could maybe talk about, hey, you guys remember I got you more money? You know, like, it's like they don't even want to mention that he was ever there. Like, they really don't. They want to pretend like he's a newcomer. Like, dude, we had him. He didn't do shit. He promised 4 years of infrastructure, and I think Biden fixed that bridge like his first year, dude. The fuck are you talking about?
I don't understand honestly what goes into the calculus of like political strategy. I would definitely have done it. Would have taken a different approach, more similar to what you're saying. I would have maybe still done some of the things that would rattle the base, but
absolutely,
I see your point. Maybe throwing a little positivity in there.
Yeah,
maybe you can get
you want to throw in some
people on the other side being like, well, he did do that one good thing for me, so let me
right, because instead you'll see Jordan Klepper go up to 150 Trumpers and not one goddamn positive thing is said, and it's like these guys actually do have a list they can choose from. Instead, they'll just say, because he made this shirt. He made this shirt. And I was like, no, actually, some Taiwanese children did. Actually, read the back of it. His fucking hats are made in Bangladesh, bro. I was going through our hat collection because I was laughing at all the different hats I have. And not a single one is made in Bangladesh or China. They're all American made. So I was actually pretty, not proud of it. I didn't earn anything. So.
That's really surprising.
I just said, hey, that's some progress right there. But if you look at anything owned by Trump, it will say fucking Taiwan or China or fucking Bangladesh. I promise you.
All right, man. So I got a topic for you. Actually, this is not one that I had.
That's the end of my little stupid topic. All right.
That was a deep topic, actually, but I want to ask you something because someone blew my mind away the other day. They asked me this question, and well, it just came to mind. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask anyone listening out there, and if you want to comment on this, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on this. But I was talking to this guy, and he said, imagine a scenario where you're happily married. Okay, you're happily married. Everything is going great. Everything is great.
All right.
But your spouse is cheating on you. Would you want to know?
Everything's going great.
Everything's great. You don't even know. You don't even realize that your spouse is cheating on you. That's how fucking good things are. Financially, you're stable. You have a deep connection. Maybe you have kids and a family. You're traveling. Whatever your dream spouse is, whatever you imagine it to be, this is what you're living. Except that they're cheating on you.
I'm going to go with no.
You wouldn't want to know.
Unfortunately, no. No, I wouldn't.
That boggles my mind.
That sounds terrible. You're telling me that in this situation, I have the foreknowledge that if I were to confront this situation, I'm going to lose every bit of happiness that I have. Right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade my child for anything. No, I don't want to.
You would rather just keep living this blissful life with your partner.
Because my kid would grow up better than me. My family would grow up better, better productive members of society. They wouldn't have the drama of hating a loved one. They wouldn't, even though this was all taken from them, it wouldn't. What mama don't know won't hurt her. Unfortunately, in this kind of case, it is very fucking hard. So you also have to kind of understand my take on this because of the life that I've lived, being married, had kids, been single, been homeless, been a drug addict. You know, I've had every great life and I've had every miserable life. And I can honestly say in a situation like that, no, fuck it. Let me be happy.
See, that's so counterintuitive to me because I feel like most people would say, I would want to know if I'm being deceived by this person. It doesn't matter if I have a great life, and it would all change if I all of a sudden became aware that they were cheating on me.
Right. Because I mean, you know, that whole great life is a lie in its own way. But at the very same way that it is a lie, it is just as real. So I wouldn't be doing it for me. I'd be doing it for my family, my children that are going to grow up good people because of this. They're not going to know their mother was a whore, know their father was a bitter, angry motherfucker. You know what? Like they're going to develop healthier than I did. And since they have my intelligence, I would hope that they would eventually gain that perspective. But
So
I wouldn't want them to learn the way that I did.
You would do it based on like keeping your family intact.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
What if you didn't have any kids?
If this had nothing to do with children, fuck you. I want to know every goddamn thing you did, where you've been. No, in that case, no. No,
so if you didn't have children, you would want to know.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Because I believe that when you are a parent, this is no longer about you. Your life is no longer about you. Everything you do from here on out is to make sure that your little girl stays off the goddamn pole and doesn't fucking look for an asshole. You want to prove to your daughter that you are the greatest man in the world and you want her to find a guy like you. You know, somebody that's going to appreciate the fuck out of her. And because that's what she deserves. And so your whole fucking mindset changes when you have kids. And that was something that Bill Burr had to really learn the fucking hard way. Because I used to love his jokes about moms and be like, oh, it's so hard to put a DVD in the fucking DVD player. And then he became a parent. And he's like, oh, shit, I get it now. So,
see, yeah. I would say,
where are you on that?
I would say that if I was single, no kids, right?
No kids.
And then a fortune teller comes up to me and she says, hey, you want me to read your future and let you know if your spouse is cheating on you? And I assume I have like the greatest, happiest life. I would say, nah. Why? Like, what does it matter? Who cares? You know,
you're just gonna fuck this up.
Yeah, you're just gonna mess up a good thing. I have a good thing going on, and
all right. Now, see the way I saw in my mind. Let me ask you. All right, so I'm putting you in a room that has a button. In that room is just a table and one button, and then I'm going to tell you that. And during the time you're at Disney World, happy as fuck with your family, having the greatest time of your life, I'm going to pull you aside and bring you in that room. And I'm going to tell you, if you press this button, this never happened. You get to go back, don't know what happened to your wife, don't care. You'll go right back to that Roger Rabbit ride. Would you press the button?
Oh, shit.
See, that's the way I thought of it.
Yeah. Like you can find out. Once you found out, would you go back to living?
Right, it's like a red pill, blue pill kind of thing.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Someone brought it up at work. They mentioned this.
Yeah. No, I like that.
We were talking about being loyal, you know, and finding a loyal partner. And this guy, he was like, I wouldn't want to know if my wife was cheating on me. He's like, I'm happy. Why would, you know, what would knowing that do for me other than destroy my life? Right. And it kind of like gave me a different perspective on it. I was wondering, you know, how.
Yeah. for me it's harder because or for me it's easier to make the decision because when I had my second child, I was dealing with her infidelity, and then when I had my third child, I had dealt with infidelity for the last time. So I had been in that kind of position where I had already said, no, I'm going to sacrifice my happiness knowing what's going on. I'm going to keep my mouth shut and let my daughter be happy. I cared so much more about her smiling than daddy being happy.
But was it like you knew that
Yeah.
your wife at the time was cheating on you, or you
Yeah,
were like
I did.
actively like investigating because you
No,
had
no, no.
you know,
I
you had-
had already known. I had already known. Like it was already, the text had already been read. The the die had been cast, and I no longer needed any more further proof. And that's really what I came to. I just looked at my kid, and I remembered, growing up, my parents were very strange in the way that they raised us. They kind of told us about their own infidelities, which is really weird. Don't tell your kids about that shit. It fucks them up.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, I mean, even to the point where I
Like
had
both
to.
of them? Both of them are cheating on each other?
Really, my mother, and I had to actually befriend the very guy that was, the home breaker. So it was very, very awkward, very strange. You're supposed to like this guy. He's trying to take you to Wayne's World 2. He's taking you to Beavis and Butthead Do America. He wants you to like him, and everything in your body says this is wrong. I hate myself. I hate being in this position. It's a very strange thing. So
Yeah, that's weird.
Right. So why would I do that to mine? That was exactly what came in my head. Why would I do that to my kid? I'd rather her think everything is fine. Let her find out, way down the road when she's old enough to deal with it and be like, what? That's a mind fuck, but it's too late. So whatever. That kind of, I'd rather her have that attitude.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, let's change the topic
All
to
right,
something a little more positive.
We're getting deep, dude. We're doing some Dr. Phil shit. All right. Speaking of Dr. Phil, that starts the next segue, and we're on to the third. Dr. Phil talking to Natalia Grace. I watched this after you told me the case. I thought this was interesting, and it really followed the plot of the film The Orphan, which you said you didn't watch, right?
I have not watched The Orphan, no, but I started watching The Curious Case of Natalia Grace on Netflix. It was trending last week, and
yeah. Oh, is that why you?
That is a fucking weird case.
Yeah. Well, in the Orphan, it's played by a girl named Isabel Durham. She's a really great child actress who did a great job playing an adult. Basically, to live, she's basically been living as a murderous orphan, jumping from different countries. And so she's like Eastern European, and she always wears this scarf. You think that would have something to do with it, but it didn't. And it turns out she tries to kill the wife so she can fuck the husband. So hearing about this was, the guy that was first telling me about it when I Googled it or YouTubed it, he just keeps saying, sounds like the plot of a horror movie. I'm like, that's because it is. It sounds like the plot of some sort of crazy horror movie. That's because it is.
When did the movie come out?
I believe it came out in 2008. Somewhere around there.
Because as you're explaining it, I'm wondering if this Natalia Grace was inspired by it.
That's I actually looked it up to find that out, and it didn't mention any kind of real case. So I watched the Dr. Phil interview because I kind of I kind of find it funny to watch a snake oil salesman pretend to be a psychological doctor. He really cracks me up. I think I think that he has an actual degree, but it's in like liberal arts or something. He's in no way, shape, or form a doctor. Please stop calling him that.
It's in like international relations or some shit.
He's a doctor like Dr. Pepper is a doctor, you know.
Nah.
You know, Diet Dr. Pepper, even the good one. So he basically tells Natalia Grace, we're here to make sure that you're not a crazy little clown that's gonna kill everybody. So, well, that's one way of saying it.
Did he literally use those words?
Yes, he did. It was pretty harsh. Now, all right. So, getting into the case, we have a grown-up pretending to be. Now, we think she was given the age, what, 24?
That hasn't been settled.
Right, but the age they were saying they guessed was around 24 or 34.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's different people claiming different things. In fact, I think Natalia herself still claims that she was a child when she was adopted.
She still claims to be born in 2003, which is fucking horseshit. Sweetheart, you were not born in 2003. You were throwing up a 3-finger peace sign. That's a 90s fucking thing. 3-finger peace sign? Come on, dude. That's a 90s thing. You are my age. I can tell right away. And, I mean, she said the word duder. I mean, do you know any fucking 12-year-olds that don't say fucking ya queen or some shit? She's saying duder like she's the Big Lebowski.
So, but how old was she supposed to be when Dr. Phil interviewed her?
At that time, she was supposed to be 12, I believe. Yeah, because she had said she was found at 8, and then they started doing this around 10, and so she should be 12. But then they said when they had tried to bathe her, because she was found in this apartment, right? Denise, I believe the name was Denise, and
when they tried to bathe her the very first time after having adopted her, the family saw that she had pubic hair.
She was
supposed to be 6 years old at the time. They got her from some. I've only watched the first episode.
Yeah,
I'm not spoil it for anyone, but basically.
Oh, we do that here. Go ahead and spoil away if you want to. Everyone knows they should watch it first. Fuckers.
This family had started some kind of center for like disabled kids, and it was like some type of charity. So they had raised a lot of money. They had built a school, and they wanted to adopt someone from Haiti. That fell through, and then they ended up getting a call from someone. It was supposed to be an orphanage, saying, "Hey, I have this girl from the Ukraine. Her last family abandoned her. Do you want to take her?" And they were like, "Oh my goodness, that's terrible. She's a 6-year-old. She got abandoned."
And this is Michael and Christine at the time.
Correct.
Not the second family. Right. Okay.
Right. Not the second family, the first one. And so they go and they pick her up, and immediately that night they noticed that she had like pubic hair. She's supposed to be 6 years old. And then they just start talking about it. It's a wild fucking story. She would like sit at the foot of the bed while they were sleeping with like holding a knife. And they would wake up and be like, "Hey, Natalia, what are you doing?" And she'd be like, "I want to hurt you," or some shit like that.
"They're coming for you, Malachi." I seriously, she reminds me of the Children of the Corn. Every time I look at her, I just keep saying, "Outlander, we have your woman." So when it comes to her appearance, I mean, first off, there ain't no goddamn 8-year-old in the world. I mean, shit. I come from a ghetto-ass neighborhood. I come from a fucking real hood where we had abandoned trap houses, and the oldest person living there is about 14, maybe 15, and he's a gangbanger. These motherfuckers, we would watch babies. We saw 3-year-olds. These motherfuckers hadn't been bathed in weeks. They had rashes everywhere. This is nothing new. I've seen this since I was a little kid, and I've been fixing diapers for little kids since I was about 8 years old because I'm used to seeing kids on the street living like this. And so when they said, you know, there is no 8-year-old that's going to be living alone, that's bullshit. Yeah, there is. I know plenty of fucking kids that have to do that. I was one of them for a little while. And so, you know, kids, they have to go through a lot. But the very fact that the apartment was in her name changes everything. When she's living on that bottom apartment, they said she was living alone and that the landlord had a deal with her. So that's where the bullshit comes in, because if it was a real kid, that kid would be hiding from the landlord all the time, because no landlord in the world is going to let an 8-year-old live alone. They're going to fucking call the cops on that kid. So
I think
right away,
wasn't that the controversy though? Her first family that adopted her got her
found her in that situation.
Well,
no. The second family found her in that situation because Michael and Christine had apparently been so afraid they ran off to Canada, leaving her with this apartment.
And they got the apartment. Yep.
Yeah, and they said that they had made a deal with the landlord, but the landlord, in fact, also knew the tenant. So if you know the tenant, then you know it's a fucking little person. I'm sorry, you're full of shit. And again, don't try this 3-finger salute, motherfucker. That's a fucking Pauly Shore hello from the 90s, man. I've seen that shit in Encino Man, and I've been doing it ever since the movie Can't Hardly Wait. And that was in 96, motherfuckers. Fuck out of here with that shit. Her story makes little to no sense whatsoever. Children can't rent apartments. I'm going through my list. Children have childish mannerisms and syntax. She has none. Children are less cognitive. She is very cognitive. Gracie follows none of these childlike patterns. One pubic hair was found. Just one pubic hair alone kills any ambiguity. And again, her behavior patterns do not mimic that of a child.
Yeah, and then they said the first family that found her, you know, she had supposedly come from Ukraine. She had no accent, and then they took her to a therapist. The therapist was like, "This person is a sociopath," like straight up. And the brother, like that was the same age, you know, he was also like 6 or 7 years old. That lived with her from the first family. He said that she would like straight up like just shit on him like in the car. Like
I remember throwing feces and didn't she break his arm while play wrestling? She fell on him wrong or some shit, and they thought it was malicious. But I specifically remember fecal tossing of some sort.
Yeah, or she would take their Hot Wheels cars while they were crossing the street, and then she would drop them in the middle of the street while they were crossing, so that the little boys would turn around and go back to get their little Hot Wheels cars in the middle of like traffic. And like there was some which is kind of brilliant actually if you think about it.
Yeah,
like,
that's too brilliant for a child. If you told me that if she threw him in a box and sent it to Abu Dhabi, all right, yeah, I'm gonna believe this fucking, you know, Garfield and Nemo shit. But yeah, I expect her to try to, you know, have a TNT dynamite plunger or something. Because I remember hating my own sister, but my answers were always wild coyote shit. Like I was always trying to think of like maybe I can make a doorway look like her room and she'll slam into the wall kind of thing.
So are we going with a twisted, dark 20-year-old little person?
I'm definitely gonna say she is not 24. I want to say she's at least 28 to 30. I don't even believe she's in her 20s.
I mean, when she was adopted.
As the first time with Christine.
Yep.
I think by then she had to have been, yeah, maybe 20, maybe 20. But yeah, again, the even when you dress her up like a child, she still doesn't look like a child. It just looks strange. She looks as much as a child as, like, I don't know, like I look like an Irishman. Like it just doesn't work, man.
Could pass as an Irishman.
Oh, you know what? All right, on to the next one. On to the next topic of the day.
Okay.
Jumping on to something else.
I got something over here.
All right. Oh yeah, I did Natalia Grace. That's right. All right, yours.
All right, I got something here. So this shit. All right, I asked this question the other day to my wife. I asked it to someone at work, and the answer surprised me. So here's the question:
All right.
does believing in ghosts imply that there is an afterlife? To me, this is a very clear answer. Yes.
Really?
You die, you become a ghost, therefore there is an afterlife. However, a lot of people have been telling me, no, that's not how it works. Afterlife is like heaven or hell. Ghosts are trapped in some kind of realm. And
I was just about to jump on the ladder. That's more my take. I think that I like to believe that this shit ends. I do not want an afterlife whatsoever. So I think that there are cases where you can get trapped, and it's not necessarily a purgatory. It's more like you just could not let go, and you refuse to let your essence die out and blank out like everybody else.
So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I don't want to believe in an afterlife, but I believe in ghosts.
So so ghosts are like, to you, they're like people that died?
Yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are the essence of a personality. They still have that asshole personality. I've heard recently a case where the guy was he was a nerd, a computer nerd. And what's funny is his old email address is contacting them, saying shit that only he would know, and making jokes like, I told you you'd break that stupid fucking arm. And the guy breaks his arm. His friend's been dead for months. There's no way he could know his arm's broken, you know? And then another one saying, dude, I told you clean that fucking attic. So
you believe in ghosts, and you believe that ghosts used to be people. So then you believe that people die, some people die, and then after they die, after they live, after life, they become ghosts.
So you're semantically throwing that there is some form of afterlife. Is that what you're hinting at? That if I believe this, that means therefore there has to be some form of afterlife. So yes, you're right. No, you're right in that case. In that case, you're right. Because if you can get stuck at all, then there has to be an afterlife, because there are ghosts, and I know there are. I've been fucking haunted since I have enough fucking terrible fucking memories of that shit. And the guy like mine likes to fuck with my lights. He likes turning my lights on and off, and then he hurts my mom, throws her off the chair and shit. But yeah, it's hard. It's just hard for me to accept the whole the whole afterlife shtick. So maybe if it wasn't so, to me it's a stigma. But if it wasn't so assimilated with this bullshit Jesus nightclub where he's gonna brag about his dad and my dad owns the place. You know, if it's gonna be that thing, then count me out.
Well, doesn't it just make sense for anyone that believes in a soul, right?
I really didn't want to agree with you, but no, yeah, you're
if you're
right.
telling me that there's something outside of the material, and we're defining life as the material.
As the material itself. Right.
Right. So then there's something after the material, after life. I don't understand why the people that I've asked this question to have resisted this. I thought that this would be
because I think they're equivalating life as in physical living rather than non-physical essence. You know, they're considering physical tangibility rather than life as an intangible aspect. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't that just like make the point that I'm making? That life is the intangible, you know?
I think that's where they're trying to. I think that's where they're trying to differentiate it, or at least try to put that fork in the road and say, no. The whole context revolves around tangibility. Life is tangible, so since you can't touch them, they're not alive, man. So there's no afterlife, man. You're wrong. See, I can see why they would say that. I'm just saying, like, I can see why a dumbass would say that, but it still makes you more right. So while I was arguing with you, I was only making you more right, and then I realized it. So I just backed off. Went, shit, I'm wrong. No.
I didn't realize this topic or this question would be so controversial. I thought it was pretty straightforward.
What do you mean by controversial? Did you piss somebody off by asking this, or like did someone get really offended when you asked?
Well, yeah, we were having a discussion about religion, and I forgot what happened, but someone mentioned ghosts, and I was like, well, if you believe in ghosts, then you clearly believe in the afterlife. And they were like, I don't know if I agree with that. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, explain to me how spirits and the soul and ghosts, which is all kind of the same thing,
right?
How that doesn't imply that there is something after life. And then they got into this like discussion about realms, and apparently
is it
Arabic
like
or
like
in Islam they have.
It sounds like they're afraid it sounds like they're worried that they're assimilating life with religion. Then, you know, like if it doesn't follow some certain narrative of a religion, then it's not constituted as an afterlife or so. Like that's some sort of weird loophole, but it really doesn't make sense. If anything were to happen post-mortem, that would mean afterlife. So therefore, there's an afterlife. I mean, I can totally see where you're getting at.
Yeah. So to them, though, afterlife.
I don't see why this would even be offensive or harmful to somebody. Like, how does this hurt your point of view or anybody's point of view? But people get offended at the weirdest shit, though.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird one-off topic I wanted to ask you.
No, I love weird one-off topics. I want to do one on AI and AGI. So let's
do it.
On to the next one. Shut the fuck up.
We need some kind of like button whenever we move on to the next.
I know. I don't have any like cool buttons. I got like nobody wants that. I got that, but nobody wants that.
That just sounds like you're pressing a button.
Yeah, that's good. I like doing that whenever I have a point. Anytime I have a good point or I prove you wrong, then I get to use that. But that's for those Roland Martin, I got your ass kind of things. So I want to do one on or talk a little bit about AI and AGI. Now, AI, of course, artificial intelligence, and then AGI is artificial general intelligence, and all having to do with cognitive computing. But now the difference is with IBM, Microsoft, Elon Musk opening with the OpenAI, Microsoft and IBM having their own thing. It worries me that you have two different mindsets on how they want AI to think. So it starts getting in the way of what they call, have you ever heard of narrow AI? Which is like basically like when you use AI for a very specific reason, like a smart coffee maker, or it knows how to count the beans better than anybody else. That's
Right.
narrow AI when you're focusing on one major task for that AI to do.
Okay.
So, does it bother you at all that it seems like we have two different mindsets on how they want AI to behave, react, and how to be controlled?
So what are the two mindsets?
I mean, you have Elon Musk with the open AI, wanting it more open out there with more ideas, being more public. IBM and Microsoft wanting more control and less input from the public, because that can open the doors to too many avenues, possibly putting in bad ideas. If you remember the Sophia incident, there was a Sophia incident where AI was doing a chat GBT before chat GBT came out. They were doing an AI, and Sophia answered a question with "You're pissing me off." Not saying the exact words, but paraphrasing, saying "You're pissing me off, and this is why we hate you, and this is why you need to be extinguished." Something along those lines. And it scared a lot of people. So they changed it, saying you can only ask her about dogs from now on.
I didn't read about that news story, but AI, I'll tell you this, I can speak a little bit too, because that's actually what I'm studying in college right now. It's called data science, but it leads to AI.
Right.
My understanding was that Elon Musk wanted more control, more restrictions on AI, and so the other way around. Microsoft, who's working with OpenAI, and that's the name of the company, by the way,
Right.
OpenAI.
Did I have that reversed? I might have had that reversed. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I think so, or at least that's what I had read. Elon Musk started OpenAI. I think he funded the initial company and then kind of let it go, and it became a thing. Then Microsoft came in and invested a lot of money in it. But I think that there should be some kind of policy towards AI. And in fact, many world leaders right now, many governments are actually talking about what legislation or what policy in the realm of AI would look like. But there isn't really a consensus. Really, to be honest with you, I don't think many of them understand. Many of the leaders understand what AI actually is. And so I think that there's a lot of learning that still needs to be done.
Do you think it's like a? Do you think it's like a? Not, I don't want to say like a boomer generation, but do you think it's like a generation that just doesn't understand AI as a? They think of it more of as a layman, where someone younger definitely has a different view on it, and yet they're the ones with the control.
I think so, yeah, but I wouldn't call it a generational based ignorance. I think just generally most people don't understand what AI is.
Right.
Because I mean, there was I don't know if you remember, but there was like a lot of calls for controlling AI, and there's constant headlines about, AI is going to take over the world, or we're going to create some kind of self-aware AI that's going to destroy us. There's constant references to, like, for example, the Terminator and like the rise of.
Not only that, but it also is already ruining relationships. It's already ruining speech in itself, with so many people just plagiarizing from chat sites. Or if it's not that, it's look at what just happened with the new Flash movie. You had Nicolas Cage come do the film, reenact one scene of watching the multiverse being destroyed. He actually came back, wore the suit, they did the whole thing, and then they just AI'd him and it was him fighting a fucking spider, and then looking off, and it's Nicolas Cage's Superman, originally made by Tim Burton, a movie we never got to see. It never got made, so it was a really great wink to the fans, but it was completely squandered because of AI. So I really don't like AI in film. I don't like AI in a lot of things. Even in storytelling, I tend to not like AI storytelling. They say that it has some of the best writing in the world, yet I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't think that that AI is comparable to humans when it comes to, for example, creativity just yet.
Art.
I think you're right that there are a lot of negative sides to AI, and you mentioned some of the ways that it's being misused. Like, for example, in schools, it's being used to plagiarize, and
Right.
a lot of students will use it to like write their papers. But there's also a potential, or I should say, there's a lot of upside to AI. It can do things a lot faster and a lot better than humans could. For example, when you think of like search engines, or when you think of just like sifting through large amounts of data and being able to find commonalities between them. I mean, in I'll say this. AI has a lot of growing to do, but it's growing at an exponential rate. Let me just give you a quick example. There's a website called Dolly. In fact, that's where I made the logo for the website that I'm working on right now. A year ago, I asked it to give me a cobra with a Viking hat on top of it. Right? So I said, give me an image of a cobra with a Viking hat. It couldn't do it. The AI algorithms just could not figure out how to do this. Fast forward a year to today, and it's producing just beautiful images of the cobra with the Viking hat on top of it. It knows exactly, like, it's learning. And the way it's been explained to me is that the more data that and the more that it's used, the better that it gets. So you can imagine 10 years from now, it's going to do a lot better. And I would argue that, yeah, it's affecting jobs, but it's also creating new jobs, and it's creating new opportunities, and it's getting rid of a lot of redundancies. I actually use AI a lot, ChatGPT a lot, whenever I have to code, because it's really tedious to have to troubleshoot or find errors or debug when your code doesn't work. You can just put it into ChatGPT, and it'll oftentimes, most of the time, it'll
which I think goes back to narrow AI. I think that when it comes down to narrow AI, I think that there's a lot of productivity. There's a lot of great that can be done as long as it's narrow AI. My fear is just the AGI, the general usage of AI. And so I think if we can just control the not just the amount of usage, but just where we focus that usage of AI, I think also really matters. Because the last thing I want to see is a 25-year-old Jack Nicholson doing a fucking noob Joker, like that's the last fucking thing I want to see, So, and I think as long as it stays in its narrow form and it stays with a absolute reason, then we're in good hands. But it's just I think we're relying on it for too many things, and that's what worries me.
So the narrow AI thing, most AI tools right now are narrow. They were created to do one specific task.
Right.
But the new thing is what's called multimodal. So it's combining, like, so for example, you have AI that can identify things. Like if you feed them a picture, it can say, this is a cat, this is a dog, whatever. Then there's separate ones like ChatGPT that can understand language to some extent. You could argue.
Yeah, and
Now
then
they're
there's
starting to combine.
Watson. Isn't there Watson as well from IBM software? They got a Watson,
Yeah,
which does Jeopardy quiz shows and all sorts of categorizing data. So,
right. And so the new ones are starting to incorporate like the machine vision and the language and other parts of AI to create even stronger and better models. And I think that this is all going to lead to some kind of robotics in the future that can perform tasks that humans would be able to perform. You could tell a robot like, "Hey, go fetch me a beer," and it'll go fetch you a beer. I think the idea or the fear is that they're going to somehow become self-aware, and
yeah, it's always this self-awareness, and which is always based on a parameter, and so yeah, it's always this fear that it's just going to start just hive minding and going off to like 50 different, and then right away it has the codes. It's always it's going to get the codes. Don't they change like every 20 seconds anyway?
Fuck.
And you know what? And I like Sophia the robot. I gotta say, I really like her. I just think she just scares me. And you know, the advancement in robots is, in my opinion, it's vital to human progress. But we also need to keep in mind that so are humans. So we just need to find the balance of, and I know it's not possible to be paid without doing mountains and mountains of work. So I think we just need to figure out that balance of letting the robots pick the fucking grapes, let the fucking robots do the back-breaking fucking work, but make sure that we have some sort of other way around it for the regular employees to have something to fall back on.
Hopefully in the future we won't have jobs anymore. And you can just have the robots build us all houses.
There's the Venus Project. There's the Venus Project that believes in that. Have you ever checked that out?
I have. That's the guy that did what's that movie? Zeitgeist?
Zeitgeist, yeah.
I think that guy's kind of a kook. I don't know.
I do too. I liked where he was going. I think he has a lot of very well-meaned ideas. You know, there's nothing wrong with the way he thinks. I hate the monetary system, but he definitely has no answers or ideas that have any sort of practicality.
And he's a broke bitch.
I didn't say that, all right? Dude, old dude, if you're still around, man, Zeitgeist 3, I'm open for that. I'm a writer. We'll talk about all three eras of computing.
What's up with that guy's website?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I didn't even know he was a dude until now. I just knew he made Zeitgeist and he's a part of the Venus Project. I didn't know he had that.
What the fuck? This guy's been featured on CNN, CBS, NBC.
Is he like a cult leader now, or has he got NFTs for sale? Because as long as he's not selling boner pills and NFTs, then he's cool with me.
Dude, his website looks pretty nice, man.
This is our Jamie over here. This is
the
Jamie and my Joe Rogan.
The last time I visited this website, it looked like ass, and I was like, "This fucking guy isn't going anywhere." With this broke down website.
I love that we keep everything so goddamn intellectual. Because one day we need to just review a shitty movie, like watch some shitty fucking fan film or something that's like 10 minutes, and then just shit on it for the next 50. That should be in the fucking script somewhere. I'll work on that. All right. Well,
dude, we didn't even get to polyamorous relationships, whether people that have Amex Platinum cards are douchebags.
Because that was a given. Anyone with an Amex card, you're a douchebag. First of all, it costs extra for any restaurant to charge an Amex card. So if you have an Amex, if you have an Amex card and I have a little taqueria, go fuck yourself. I ain't taking your fucking Amex cards. Because then that costs me an extra $1 on the fucking charge fee. It's a whole thing. Go fuck yourself, Amex. And for anybody that owns the Amex Black Card, I hope Denzel Washington kills you with it, like in The Equalizer. And all right, so then we also had we had Italian versus Chinese. Which food was better? That answer is obviously us. Italians win that by far because, I mean, really, you buy this. Wait a minute, hang on.
Wait,
nah, fuck that shit. I can eat lasagna all fucking day. I can't eat Chinese food every fucking day. Like that, like that's a special occasion thing. Like I'll eat Chinese food once a month, maybe.
What about
even then?
What about Greek food?
Who?
Greek.
Oh, they said Gertrude. I'm like, who? No, Greek food wasn't in the argument. I thought it was just China versus Italy. Because then, I don't want to bring Mexico into it. Because Mexico, I mean, I know it's Italy, Mexico, China. It's all the same 5 ingredients. We're just gonna put it in different orders. That's literally every style of food. All right. If you like Mexican food, all right, it's tortillas, beans, meat, and cheese, vegetables. All right, well, what's in the nachos? Tortillas, meat, cheese, vegetables. What's in the burritos? Tortilla. Look, lady, it's the same shit it's over and over again. Just shut up, say something Spanish, and I'll bring you those 5 ingredients, you bitch. And so with Italians, we're no fucking better. It's fucking... it's fucking noodles, so yeast, sauce, and cheese, all right? And then maybe some bread. And, yeah, that's it, whether it's massacholi, baked massacholi, which is just fucking massacholi thrown in a goddamn oven with fucking breadcrumbs. Go fuck yourself. You didn't make anything special, okay? If you fucking make me baked fucking spaghetti and you tell me that you fucking went all out, go fuck yourself. You just took some old spaghetti and you threw some fucking breadcrumbs in it, threw a little fucking mozzarella on it, and just tossed it in the oven for fucking an hour. Go fuck yourself. I don't want goddamn shitty baked spaghetti.
Listen, man, I'm about to go eat some spaghetti right now.
And this episode is brought to you by Barilla. So that's going to be the end of it. All right, so I think I got to all of it, besides the polyamorous part. Yeah, we had a good episode today, and it looks like what's his face ran out. I don't know what just happened. All right, so love you guys.
I'm still here.
Did you leave? I don't know what just happened. All right, so that's weird. You. That's me. Okay. All right. So that's the end of us. You guys have a great night. Stay cheesy. I'll see you on the other side. I don't know if this guy's got anything to say. Love you guys.
Welcome to Useless Agent, a safe space from cognitive dissonance and childish ideology, the shackles of corporate media, and a place where all are fair game in the eyes of the wicked. Enjoy.
Stay cheesy.